While everyone's sleeping on Kaspa, the whales are literally printing money. We're talking coordinated accumulation across multiple exchanges, private wallets loading up like crazy, and the on-chain data showing something that hasn't happened in weeks. This is the kind of signal that shows up on the charts after the big money's already positioned. Stick around because we're breaking down exactly what these whales know that you don't. What's up, everybody? I'm Gold Rush, and welcome back to Gold Rush Crypto Daily, where we don't chase trends. We hunt the opportunities that the whales are already hunting. If you're new here, we break down the on-chain data, the fundamentals, and the real signals that move markets before they move your portfolio. Whether you're just getting started in crypto or you've been trading since the Bitcoin pizza days, you're in the right place today. We're covering two absolutely fire articles about Kaspa that paint a picture I haven't seen in a long time. Let's dive in. Let's start with this interesting analysis from Captain Altcoin. The headline is, "Today's data shows whales are more bullish on Kaspa. KAS accumulation intensifies." And honestly, this is exactly the kind of data that gets me excited about cryptocurrency. So here's the situation. Kaspa has been pretty quiet, right? 2 weeks ago, it had a brief rally, prices pulled back, and a lot of retail traders probably thought the momentum was dead. Classic scenario. But here's what separates the professionals from the amateurs. The on-chain data tells a completely different story. According to Kaspa builders, over the past 24 hours, the largest wallets, we're talking about the top 10,000 KAS addresses, are showing a shift toward what they call private and diversified accumulation. That's analysts speak for smart money is loading up quietly without pumping the price. Check this out. The largest single inflow hit 10.48 million KS. That's a significant jump from previous days. But here's what's really interesting, and this is the part that tells you these aren't panic buyers or retail FOMO. Analyst Pumpius notes that this pattern signals structured accumulation rather than panic buying. Think about that for a second. These aren't emotional decisions. These are calculated, methodical moves. Binance US, Bybit, KuCoin, and BitGet wallets are each adding millions of KAS to their holdings, and the coordinated activity across multiple Binance US wallets is catching analyst eyes. That's institutional behavior, folks. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. While all this accumulation is happening, where are the sellers concentrated? Exchange wallets. Bybit led with 13.9 million KAS sold, followed by Gate.io, MEXC, and Kraken. But, and this is crucial, Pumpius points out this isn't a sell-off. This is typical liquidity rotation. Large exchanges are balancing their trading needs and moving tokens around, while private holders are quietly building their positions. So you've got this beautiful contrast here. Concentrated exchange selling on one side, that's noise, that's normal market operations. On the other side, organic private accumulation, that's signal, that's real conviction. The net flows are leaning slightly toward accumulation, and as Kaspa Builders points out, coordinated whale activity like this is often an early signal before the price charts even catch up. Here's what that means. Private wallets accumulating steadily equals long-term confidence in Kaspa's fundamentals. Sell-side pressure? It's manageable. It's not overwhelming. This is the kind of foundation that can stabilize a price in the near term while building the base for a longer-term run. The overall picture from this article is clear. Kaspa whales aren't chasing hype. They're not in-and-out traders. They're methodically adding to positions, positioning themselves strategically for what's coming next. And if you know anything about how markets work, the smart money moving first is the biggest green flag there is. Now that on-chain data is one piece of the puzzle, but the technical picture, that's where things get really juicy. Let's jump into the second article. This comes from Traders Union, and the headline says it all. Kaspa jumps 8.57% after bullish momentum signals and strong wallet inflows. So Kaspa is currently trading at 0.0581. That might not sound like much if you're new to crypto, but what matters is where it is relative to the moving averages. According to the article, KAS is trading above the 20-day moving average at 0.0479 and above the 50-day at 0.0508. Both of those are bullish signals. However, and I want to be honest with you, it's still well below the 200-day moving average at 0.0770, so the long-term trend is still under pressure. That's not a negative, though. That just means there's more room to run when the long-term trend flips. Now, here's where the whale story from Article 1 connects. The article explicitly states that on-chain data shows increased activity and accumulation by large holders following recent pullback periods. The inflows have shifted toward private wallets and diversified accumulation. And here's something new that adds even more fuel to the fire. Users can now purchase Kaspa with credit cards on certain platforms. That's huge for accessibility. That's mainstream adoption starting to creep in. Let's talk about the technical signals. The closest dynamic support is sitting at 0.0496 on the daily time frame. Resistance is near the 50-day moving average with another level above current price. And here's the bullish part. MACD and ADX are both flashing buy signals on the daily. That means the momentum indicators are lining up. RSI and CCI are also in buy territory but not yet overbought. Now, stock RSI is neutral, which Traders Union points out might signal some hesitation and possible near-term consolidation. Bull-bear power, though? That's showing strong buyer dominance intraday. So we've got some conflicting signals, which honestly is realistic. Markets don't move in straight lines. For the next 5 trading days, KAS is likely to trade within a volatility band of 0.0540 to 0.0615. That's the expected range based on recent momentum and volatility. Now here's where I want to manage expectations. 3 out of 4 major weekly indicators are signaling sell, which means the odds of further price gains in the immediate near term are below 20%. That's not my opinion. That's what the data says. But here's the thing, and this is important. Below 20% odds doesn't mean 0%. It means consolidation is more likely than explosive upside. According to Viktoras Karapetjank from Traders Union, positive sentiment is returning to Kaspa because of the on-chain accumulation by large holders and the accessibility improvements. But even he notes that persistent bearish weekly signals limit the odds of rapid upside. His take is that price action will likely consolidate with support near 0.0540 and resistance at 0.0615. If the price breaks above 0.0615, we could see a move toward higher resistance. If it breaks below 0.0540, that support from the Ichimoku Kijun gets tested, and that could trigger further selling if bearish weekly momentum persists. But here's the summary from Karapetjank, and I think this is the most important takeaway. Momentum and sentiment favor a constructive bias in the short term, but sustained growth will depend on overcoming the resistance zone above 0.0615. So let me connect these 2 articles because this is where the real thesis emerges. Article 1 shows us that the whales, the smart money, the people who've made fortunes in crypto are loading up on KAS. They're doing it quietly, methodically, through private wallets and coordinated strategies across major exchanges. They're not waiting for hype. They're accumulating into weakness. Article 2 shows us that while the weekly indicators are bearish, suggesting consolidation rather than immediate moonshot, the daily indicators are bullish. MACD and ADX are screaming buy. The accessibility improvements mean new retail money can now enter more easily, and the technical setup, once it breaks out of this consolidation zone above 0.0615, could catapult this higher. Here's what I think is happening. The whales know something. They're positioning before the retail crowd wakes up to Kaspa. They're accumulating into this consolidation phase, waiting for the weekly indicators to turn around. And when they do, when KS breaks through that 0.0615 resistance, you're going to see volume that leaves people wondering why they didn't load up when they had the chance. This is textbook smart money behavior, and that's why I'm bullish on Kaspa. If this breakdown is valuable to you, smash that like button. Seriously, it takes 1 second and it helps the algorithm understand that you want more of this content. Subscribe to Gold Rush Crypto Daily if you haven't already. We break down this kind of on-chain data every single day, and you don't want to miss the signals that move markets before the masses catch on. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next update. And if you know someone in your group chat who needs to see this Kaspa breakdown, share this video with them. That's how we build a real community of informed traders. Finally, check out our other videos on the channel. We've got daily updates, deep dives on altcoins that are about to move, and real analysis that cuts through the noise. Real quick before we go, I need to make something crystal clear. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy Kaspa, sell Kaspa, or do anything with your money. I'm sharing on-chain data and technical analysis for educational purposes only. Always do your own research. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Crypto is volatile and unpredictable. You are responsible for your own financial decisions. That said, I'm personally watching KAS closely because the data is fascinating, and that's exactly the kind of conviction-based analysis I bring to this channel every single day. Thanks for hanging with me. Keep grinding, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video.